Hi Arihant, thank you so much for joining in, and thank you for giving out your precious time to discuss with us more on the RISE program, Rural India Solutions for the Energy. To my audience, this is Mukesh. I work with the Headstart Network Foundation, and we hope to have we hope to have that startup apply for the Rural India Solutions for the Energy. So just quickly on the that phase, we have Arihant Jain, the CEO for the AIC-JKLU, and we will be discussing more on how this innovation challenge will help people and startup to scale up their journey as well as to provide more support. So Arihant, a quick intro on the JKLU part. Yeah.
Thank you, Mukesh, for having me for this conversation. And first of all, I am Arihant Jain. I am CEO for Atal Incubation Center at JKLU University. AIC-JKLU is a almost more than 2 years old incubation center supported by Niti Aayog under AIMS scheme. And we are working with a diverse set of ideas and startups at different levels. And currently we have decided to focus very strongly on solutions for rural India and to be more specific on energy sector. And JKLU University is a university based out of Jaipur, part of JK Group, and doing a lot of innovative education modules for engineering, management, and design. So,
great. So this is really something which is needed when it comes to the rural India. We have huge resources needed, as well as innovation which is coming out from the India, and being one of the top three innovation hub which India is known for. Definitely, this is very nice initiative by JKLU. Thank you for moving out of that domain and initiating such thing. So my first question comes on what are your key focus area when it comes to the RISE? What you're looking from the startups and how this will help them?
Yeah. So under RISE, we are specifically looking for solutions who can help enable, develop, or support infrastructure, and majorly health infrastructure in the rural India. We are looking for startups who comes into energy domain, who comes into health sector domain, and also intersection of both or the support services like supply chain. Right now, the storage for the vaccines and everything are becoming more and more important. So these are the kind of domain we are looking for in RISE Challenge. And the way we want to support startups in this is that we have a very structured program to support startups. We have a network into rural India. We have many of our partners operating into the sector, and who can really help us understand what is the real challenge which rural India is facing, and then help startups develop something which can solve that problem. So do something very specific for rural India is something which we want to achieve out of this program. And also that's where our support system will be for the startups who participate with us.
Great. Yeah. So being CEO for the JKLU, whenever this kind of innovation comes, leadership plays a crucial role and very important role. So how did you selected this particular theme out of it?
Yeah. So I think I agree. The team and the leadership needs to buy into why this sector and why this area you want to focus on. So the whole journey for energy sector started for us almost 2 years back when we were setting up the AIC, and one of the core sector we decided to focus on was renewable energy and sustainability. Though focusing specifically on rural India came in just 3-4 months back when we all were going through the second wave of COVID-19, and the idea was what we have seen closest to our home is the unavailability of infrastructure to support healthcare arrangements into rural India. What we have seen closest to our home is something which we can't really define. We can't really say, okay, we have done enough for rural India to support everyone who is living in those regions. So that's what basically motivated us to do something very specific to the rural India market. And I will not just say just market, but each and every person who is living there, how we can completely uplift the status and the standard of living for them, how we can create more and more support system for them to have a better access to healthcare, better access to resources. That's what helped us decide on this sector. And so basically we merged both of them together. Because energy is a core sector we want to work on, and rural India is something which we are seeing right now is under stress and need a lot of support in that area. So let's bring those two things together, and that's how the RISE came along. So yeah, that's how we started this.
This is really interesting, and I was hearing one of the panel discussion which you guys recently organized, and I believe we had 4 investors over there. That was really wonderful one. And I still remember, one of the speaker mentioned very truly, we have 2 India when it comes to the innovation and even implementation of it. So one is the India, another one we talk more on the Bharat. And perhaps this is something which is needed for that. So when it comes like about the RISE program, basically it is more about supporting startups, right? So how will this particular innovation challenge will help elevate the rural ecosystem in India?
Yeah. So as I said in the beginning, we are focusing specifically for the startups and ideas who want to create an impact for rural India. So honestly, very few of the startups are out there who have a very clear focus on rural India. So what we want to create an ecosystem or the environment for those kind of startups is that enable lot more conversations between what they are doing and what is the real requirement of rural India. So the panel discussion was part of something which we wanted to do. So enable those startups with the knowledge and the access to understanding that what real problem rural India is facing. So that's what RISE wants to achieve. Like, can we push some of the startups who are doing good to create something very specific for rural India? And at the same time, can we also motivate some of the new innovators and the experts in the field that, rural India's problem are completely different from the urban India problem. So how do you solve for that? The context is different. The people's habits are different. The approach is different. The education levels are different. So how do you create a solutions which can really support that ecosystem is something which RISE want to enable. We have, as I said, we have a lot of mentors who are operational in the same area, who are working to support initiatives of this kind into rural India. So we are tying up with them. We are enabling a lot more conversations with some of the successful startups, and at the same time, some of the new innovators who want to go in this sector to develop something in that area. So the experts will bring in the real knowledge and the on-ground knowledge and understanding of what rural India needs. And then some of the startups and innovators will bring in with their ideas, and the RISE will enable the customization, you can say, or the adaptation into the rural India market. That's what RISE want to achieve with this initiative. Yeah.
This really makes sense, and as well, there is a huge mismatch when it comes to the wavelength between urban and rural. We have a lot of innovations coming out from the Silicon Valley. We have coming a lot of startups these days coming from tier 2 and tier 3 cities. So perhaps JKLU vision on that is wonderful. So would you like to say something on the partners? I came to know that UPS is also one of the part for it, and being energy sector, university, this is something really good. So how you are, leveraging that partnership toward it?
So we have multiple partners. Yes, UPES is one of the major partner we have on board with this challenge. And UPES brings with them very in-depth knowledge of energy sector, and also given the location they are at and the knowledge base they have developed over the years, they have a lot of good knowledge of how different markets works, including rural market and urban markets. And the technology development which they have developed in their campus and in terms of the startup support they have built over the years, that will be really crucial for us to enable the customization and adoption for the rural India market. At the same time, JKLU as a university also has a lot of resources in terms of energy, ranging from solar, wind, and automation, supporting automation through IoT, artificial intelligence, machine learning. So what we are looking at with our partners, at least from the academic point of view, is that bringing in the in-depth knowledge of energy and also bringing in the knowledge of how that can work into different environments, mix both of them together and give startups kind of a ready-made solutions that, this is the way you can adopt, or this is the way which can help you think through your process of adoption. The level of partners we have are some of the social organizations like MASH Foundation, Ingenious Spaces, and others who are working continuously with a lot of innovators, not just in urban market but into rural market also, and they are enabling taking innovators from national platforms to international platforms. So they are able to bring in some of the expertise from different countries, different who have solved for this rural ecosystem. So they are trying to bring that knowledge to Indian context. So that's where, and finally the Headstart network, which is giving us access to a lot of mentors and the investors in the area who are looking for solutions for this area. So many of the investors we have interacted so far, they have keen interest to solve for this area, but they don't know who to go to. So we would like to use the partnerships we have to create that platform for them. That, you know, Rise is a platform by which you can access rural market, but Rise is a platform where you can solve for Bharat as per se, and also create solutions which are adoptable to urban market and at the same time rural market also. So that's what various partnerships and support we have. And at the end, you know, Niti Aayog and AIM scheme support which we have, they continue to support us with a lot of understanding and deep knowledge, access to mentors, access to resources, and access to various organizations working in different part of the country. So all of this put together gives us a huge ecosystem and a huge knowledge base, which basically we want startups to just come and leverage into the way they want. So that's how our various partnerships will support them.
This is really amazing, and knowing more about the partnership which brings JKLU as a support is something these days startups need to scale up their journey in the ecosystem. Yeah. As well, of course, AIMS bring a lot of support in terms of developing and in terms of enabling the complete ecosystem as well. So this is super amazing, and of course, AIC-JKLU is doing wonderful job when it comes to bringing out solutions from the tier 2 and tier 3 cities, as well as from the rural entrepreneurial ecosystem, which definitely need to be enable a lot. Before moving out, I'll have just one last question. Is there any message you want to give to our audience and to the people who would like to apply, as well as to the people who are into the startup ecosystem?
Yeah. So the only message which I can give to all the audience out there is that if you have any idea which you think can solve for urban India, trust me, there are ways which the same idea can be implemented into rural India. You just need to find the right sources and the right support ecosystem for that. And that's what we are trying to create. So if you have any interest into working in rural India and solving for them, please reach out to us. Please apply for our program and join us.
Thank you so much, Arihant. And I hope that we'll have a lot of solutions towards simplifying the societal impact, towards simplifying the lives of our rural India and also to the Bharat. And by bringing technological solutions to impact the society at large. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you, Mukesh.